Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we are here at, well, I believe we're here at New Hampshire. It's a little foggy up here in the New England region here tonight, and we're getting ready to watch the Hold Your Brakes Academy here for 100 laps around the Super Paperclip, as I like to call it here, as this is if you're any fan of short track racing, I don't know why you are, but obviously Martinsville, known as the Paperclip, this track is very, very similarly shaped. It is a flat track. It is double the size, though. It is 1 mile out here. Jimmy will tell me and tell all you out there over and over again, this is a short track, even though it is a mile, because it's flat. It's got no banking or very little banking, so he likes to call it a short track. But either way, it's going to be 100 great laps here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Carlin, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert, and we got a third member in the broadcast team here that we'll bring in here in a bit. But Jimmy, we're up here at New Hampshire. We talked about this track, and we kind of have our pros and cons about it. I never seem to have liked it, but I always seem to do decent when I come here. You maybe not so much.
It's I call it flat because short track because of the flat corners, and there's a lot of getting into the brakes and coasting around, getting the car to settle and point in the right direction before you get on the throttle. If you're too hard on the throttle with these cars, you will spin the rear end, or if you're too early, you'll push yourself out into the wall. I was out there getting some practice laps in, was running 30.8s, so looking at here, not too bad. As far as these drivers out here considered, but definitely was it's not my cup of tea. I don't have fun. Put me in a GT3 car with some downforce, Carl.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what we'll need to do. We'll need to go to these 1 mile, 1.5 mile tracks and start a GT3 oval series just to see how they handle it. I wonder how the GT3s would handle on their Magic Mile here and see what they could actually do. See if you're running the same type of lines, if you're kind of diamonding it, because that's one thing with this track here. It's not your typical just get down to the bottom, especially in 1 and 2. I mean, you'll see that the bottom line certainly be used, but kind of the middle line a lot of times is the one that really develops in, and even the top line can provide a good run out of the corners, which doesn't necessarily make sense, considering it is as flat as it is, but it just works. And sometimes you'll even see the kind of the diamond type of way of going through the corner through 1 and 2 by kind of getting in there down low, entering into 1, letting it drift up in between 1 and 2, and then kind of down coming off. But the turn 2 wall is certainly one that can creep up on you very quickly as you're trying to get the power down and breaking loose out of the corner. Out of 2, it'll definitely happen quite a bit. Out of 4, it can happen from time to time. It just seems like 2 is definitely the more trickier side of the track if you want to consider it. But they're out there getting their qualifying in right now. 23 drivers looks like are going to be set to take the green flag here tonight. Not sure about Zach White. Hasn't put in a qualifying time yet, but the other 22 drivers looked like they got in a qualifying time up to this point, and pretty quick and pretty interesting at the top, as the top 10 are all the cars under the 31-second mark. But the difference between the pole right now is it looks like everybody may be done 0.001 or 0.01 right now, as a 30.66 for Rob Higgs, 30.67 for Matt Ulmer. But before we get to it here, as I don't see Marty White in here, but we're going to bring him in here anyway. This is going to be our in-race reporter here that we'll bring in a moment. But before we do, I'm going to turn over to our third member of the broadcast here, my son Colton, to give us the most famous words in motorsports.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines!
All right, that is the cue for all the drivers out there to get ready for a show here tonight. Hopefully everyone out there in Sierra Nation is ready for a show as well. 100 laps here on tap. But before we get to it, we'll bring in our pre-race and in-race reporter here tonight. And that is going to be the birthday boy. And that is going to be Marty White here. As Marty, we got told not only was it your birthday, but we had to bring you in here for an interview. I don't know if your buddy Jeremy Gill is trying to put a little extra pressure on you here tonight, or what the case is. But either way, we'll say happy birthday from the CRN booth. But we'll talk to you about the number 69 here tonight. What do you think this track is going to hold for you?
I'm honestly just here to have fun and hope I finish. There's a lot of fast guys out here like Josh and, my teammate Rob and Jeremy. But, just here to have fun at my home track.
All right, buddy. Well, I mean, the season's kind of getting in the later stages for you guys here now. How do you think the season's gone for you so far? Is there any tracks on the later part of the schedule that you're kind of looking forward to round out the season?
Oh, definitely Talladega. I love super speedway racing.
All right, well, we'll let you get to it. I know it's a little foggy out there, so hopefully you got your fog lights on the front of that car. But before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I just want to give a shout out to Jeremy for putting this on for me, you guys for the broadcast, my friend watching, and my late friend Hank that's on the hood of my car.
Good luck to you out there. If we get some cautions, we'll try and bring you in here if we got a chance. But either way, have fun out there, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty.
That is again your birthday boy, the driver of the 69. Robert White is going to be starting back there in 15th. But our top 10 here, give you a quick rundown, is going to be Rob Higgs Jr. on the pole, Matt Ulmer, Joshua the Viper King, Timothy Presley, and Jeremy Gill for your top 5. Davis Shively, Drafty Beef, Jorge Ledesma Jr., Andrew Jones, Shane King for your top 10. Then you got Shane McLean, Quinn McLean, Tiffany Ellis, James Smith, Tristan Miner for your top 15. But we are close to the side of each other there at the start of this race. You got the green flag. They'll head down into turn 1. Matt Ulmer trying to use that outside line to get around that 14. And Jimmy, I know we talked about the fog, but it doesn't matter what the case is. It could be a downpour out there. You're going to see that number 14 from anywhere.
Yeah, for the most part. That 14 just kind of cuts through even the fog with the worst conditions here. Obviously, I hate fog with a passion when it comes around, but Ulmer wrapping up the 14 along with the 1 here early on the front stretch at the end of lap 1. So caution comes out as the short track shenanigans begin.
You're gonna hammer that point home, aren't you? But well, Joshua King was able to slip by there. He's gonna be your race leader here. But we'll take a look back and see this incident one more time, starting at the front of the field. Unfortunately, between your 2 front row starters, the 14. As it looks like the 60 getting involved here as well. Gets tagged by Andrew Jones there pretty hard.
Yeah, he locked it. He got on the brakes to avoid that thing, put the 60 sideways, and the 3 ended up getting into him as well. So a little bit of incident there in the back. When we'll move here, that's some Andrew Jones. And then we'll go up front here where we're Matt Ulmer here, just on that outside, just trying to come down here early, and it just gets loose.
I mean, I just got done saying how it's not as bad out of turn 4 getting loose, but apparently it is, as it looks like the 14, the 23, and the 1 all getting tangled up there together. Timothy Presley did bring it into the pits, so Rob Higgs looks like it's going to cycle back out, and he's going to be your leader. Oh, the 53 in there late into the back of the 21, as that was a rough one here to start. And we do see the 60 and the 3 still in the pits getting some work done. These drivers do have their typical amount of fast repairs here for the race. They do have 2. They have 4 sets of tires that they can use for the race as well. But you don't want to lose them this early. You don't.
No, way too early.
Especially if you want to consider this thing a short track here tonight. You want to be able to drive with a little bit of damage out there. But we'll see what these drivers can do. Hopefully we can get them out there. But I mean, it's cold tires. I'm not sure what the track temp is. I didn't take a look at the track temp, but it looks like the track temp is 80, so it's kind of a neutral, maybe a little bit cooler, type of track temperature. So maybe just going to take a couple laps to get these tires warmed up.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, obviously, nice cool track. It should be, and that's maybe why the fog's here when they set these things up to try to maybe keep a cooler track, and usually ends up with overcast, but the fog came out here tonight. Obviously, you can see how it's a little bit darker out there. I'll try to stay on some of the closer cameras because as soon as I back up, it's really hard. I'll show you if I go into the blimp. You can really see how it kind of fogs out there just a little bit. So won't be doing too many blimp shots, maybe some chopper shots just to kind of see what happened here and there for the incidents. But we're gonna keep it close here tonight and maybe hop down in the cockpits of some of these drivers here as they start. Matter of fact, we'll hop on board. Let's go with Drafty Beef here at the start.
Whoa. It's a good one to jump onto as he's seen quite a bit of Jeremy Gill on that one, just trying to get the power down with that 4. Wasn't exactly working out too well for him, but somehow everybody keeps it straight. He keeps it off of Drafty Beef, and we get this thing back underway. You see the two kind of different color asphalts there. You really want to keep it down on the darker color, kind of the newer asphalt. We talked, or at least I talked a lot about, turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is about the same. I mean, you can get down them all the way to the bottom, and ride around like a typical track. Trying to take the shortest way around at the bottom, but kind of same thing. Like at the middle of the track, top of the track, it seems to be the better way to take these corners, especially for the tires, which. We will see another caution here, but the tires, the 21 losing it on the backstretch here. I'm not sure if that, I don't think that was the caution right there because I think the caution came out before that. But yeah, this is track that's gonna eat up some tires, and unfortunately, our in-race reporter here looks like he's about to get split 3 wide here, and
yeah, a little sister from the 11.
11 Anthony Strickland getting into the side of him. See if anybody else comes in here and finishes off the job. The 60, Shane King.
No, not the turtle car.
Yeah, just reset the sides there. Got it right by him. Easy as you like. And no further damage here. The 69, the 21 at me actually caught some more damage from him going sideways out of turn number 2 and then nosing it into the wall. So I'm sure we'll see Quinn McLean come into the pits, and you see right there already loose at the top of the track. He's off of that newer pavement down there, and that's why you're up there in the marbles. Already loose. Looks like he kind of gathers it back in, but then getting on the gas coming out of 2 here is an art form. And out of 4, you can say it as well, but especially out of 2, it just seems like you can never get on the gas until you're finally completely on that backstretch.
It's all about making sure the nose is pointed where you want it to be going before you get in the throttle, and then obviously you can't just romp on the gas like a light switch, or the rear end will come around. These cars have too much power. Because they're flat, all the weight's shifted, and it just makes it really simple to spin it around. It's kind of like doing donuts in an empty parking lot, Carl.
Well, that's exactly what the 21 kind of did here, sliding a little sideways, nosing it in. But we're going to get the cars group back up here again. Not too many takers to pit lane, maybe just some more coming in there to try and get a little extra damage repaired. As you see, our leader here, the 14 pole sitter here, still with a little bit of damage. Didn't want to give up that track position here in the beginning of the race after getting tangled up. And understandably, this is a track that you can pass, and we will see probably plenty of passing, especially if the drivers are faster. You can find ways around and kind of manipulate the entry and the exits of these corners to get some good runs. But ultimately, if you can stretch this thing out and really kind of wear out these tires, you'll see who can save better and who's not, really turning that wheel to get through the corner and letting the car do what it wants to do and not scrubbing all that grip off the tires. As we get a little bit later in the runs, hopefully we get a chance to see that. And pit stops here, they're not that fun. Not that fun coming off that corner and diving right down into pit lane. And even on the exit, in my opinion, maybe one of the toughest pit road exits in all of racing. I mean, it's basically
so small.
It's a bike path. It's a bike path coming out of the pits until you get to the backstretch, and you have to stay down there below the yellow line until you get to the backstretch. And it is just, it almost feels like it's off camera, let alone flat, and it's just so small. It's a car width wide. There's no other room for anything else. But about time to get this thing back under green. Hopefully everybody gets the power down a little bit better this time. A little bobble at the front again. But we are back to racing here at NHMS.
Yeah, it's so hard to get started when you're cooped up like that here. We're riding on board with Tiffany. and see how maybe that's mid-pack, that battlefield area that I like to observe a lot of, and just kind of see how things are here. But not too bad. Obviously, it takes a lot of patience with people, and hopefully to do tracks like this, because you see they get on the gas as soon as they get on these straightaways. They get some pretty decent speed down through here. Then they're off the brake, or off in their brakes, and then down turning. But we got
Drafty Beef sideways.
Yeah, Drafty Beef going around there. So caution flies again for another time here on lap 11. And we'll see what happens.
Can I help on that one or not?
I see Omar maybe.
Heading into 1 and 2, and it looks like the 9 just a little bit too deep into the corner and into the back quarter of the 2 of Drafty Beef, going to send him sideways. And again, it's still plenty early in this race. We're only on lap 11 right now. But you start to wonder, at what point do you start considering coming down into the pits? As, man, I feel like the 6 of Shane McLean has had a front row seat for every one of these incidents here so far, and has snuck through just barely every time.
Omar went around too.
And yeah, Omar trying to avoid it, just got a little bit of a shimmy and a shake, and it got a little sideways on him, and going to be another one sideways. And man, Ulmer not exactly having the start of the race that he won. He started up on the front row in second place, and had the incident right away with Rob Higgs, and has been looking up the rest of the field ever since.
Yeah, now it's just like kind of turning this thing around. Obviously, it got ugly early for Matt, and plenty of race remaining. Obviously, 88 laps remaining here. And it's definitely just trying to get things under control. Take your time. You got the pace. You've been, you're qualified up front. So now you just need to be careful and this is here where the racecraft portion of Iracing comes in. Use the, if you can hot lap, cool. Usually gets you a good start and, starting point. But you got to be able to run those alternate lines, especially on these shorter tracks. Okay, this ain't a short track per se. It's just a tough track because of how the corners are. But it just takes time. There's a lot of racecraft and how to kind of pay attention to maybe the guy in front of you. Maybe instead of immediately when you get up on somebody, taking that dive down to the inside, see where they're driving for a lap. If you got time like you do right now, and then once you know where their weak part or weak area is, you try to drive another line and pass them like that. So there's just a lot of things here. There's a lot of patience, and these tracks are a driving style that some like. I just too much patience. A lot of people overdrive the entries and then get on the gas too quickly on the exit and end up usually spinning around. And usually these races can go one of two ways really well, where they go green from start to finish, or you start off with the cautions until they finally figure it out. So hopefully they'll figure it out here tonight, as we got 23 drivers out here. Rob Higgs out front over Davis Shively, and then Jeremy Gill, Joshua Viper King, Jorge Ledesma for your top 5.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, Jimmy, that maybe we haven't even brought into play here. It's safe to say it hasn't exactly been a clean start to this race. Is this potentially the broadcaster's curse from our third member of our broadcast? Colton, given the start your engines here, the start hasn't exactly been too great. So already, are we having a broadcaster's curse from our newest member of the team here? Maybe. Either way, we're back to green flag racing here. Rob Higgs at the front. Jeremy Gill now moves up into second place as they head down the backstretch. Hopefully we can get a couple laps in and give these drivers a chance to get these tires warmed up. And it just seems like maybe a little extra aggression from some of the drivers trying to get into these corners and not understanding where the drivers in front of them are looking to take the corners, take the entries, and we'll see if that starts to wear itself in here, as looks like we got a battle for the lead. Jeremy Gill now to the inside of Rob Higgs and gonna make the pass. So the 4 up to the front now. The 4 of Jeremy Gill, the sponsor of tonight's race, but this is the Marty's birthday bash here at New Hampshire. And we're gonna have another caution as Higgs goes sideways into the corner. Luckily the caution wasn't on him. But this is going to bring out another yellow here tonight. We'll take a look at what brought this one out.
Yeah, I think it's here to 23 of Matt Ulmer. Just see what happened back here. Just getting loose.
Yep, out of turn number 2 and down into the inside wall. Hard impact, and you see that hood. Even looked like the windshield kind of wanted to buckle on that one. I don't think I've seen that before, but that was a big impact there from the 23. And man, the hits just keep on coming for Matt Ulmer, and not sure. I think he might have towed it back to the pits. I think that thing blew up on him. So
yeah, right there at the end.
Even worse here for the 23. He couldn't even limp it back to the pit, so he's now going to go at least a lap, probably 2 or 3 laps down.
Yeah, probably. Obviously, here the driver having the most issues. There's a few others having some issues as well. Drafty Beef down 12 spots back in 19th. Andrew Jones down 12 spots back in 21st. But a few drivers taking advantage. Dave Chapman up in 8th, and number 88 Machine in Pete number 8. And then you have a Zach White up 10 spots in P13 and number 77. So some people having a bad race, some are taking advantage of others' misfortunes and working their way up through the field a little bit further as well. So this race will continue here. We're on lap 18 of 100. Jeremy Gill's out front over Rob Higgs, Joshua King, Davis Shively, and Timothy Presley.
We got a chance. We'll bring in the birthday boy here again. Driver of the 69, Marty White. And Marty, I mean, I know the race is dubbed the Marty's birthday bash. A lot of cars getting bashed here though in the beginning of this race. This track, is it a little bit, the cooler temperatures, just hard to get these tires up to temp and not getting the back end stepping out on you?
Yeah, it's I'm showing 77 degree track temp. But I think a lot of people are getting too heavy on the throttle on corner exit, causing them to spin out a lot.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It looked like you had maybe a little brush with the wall. You got wrapped up in another incident earlier, get some help in turn number 1. Not the help that you requested for sure, but looks like the 69 still looking good. Got the I don't even think you probably needed a fast repair for that one. It looked like you just kind of got spun sideways.
Yeah. Car feels good still. Just trying to drag out that fast repair as long as I can until I really need it.
Yeah, understandable. All right, buddy, we'll let you get back to this restart.
Alrighty.
That is again the driver of the 69, Marty White. As we're gonna get this thing back underway, he is back there in 15th. Actually, 16th, pretty much right where he started. So nothing, too bad gained or lost so far for the 69. But out front, it is going to be a new leader, Jeremy Gill, bringing them back to the green. Hopefully, he can get a better restart here. He's struggled a little bit on the outside, getting these restarts, getting the power down, but no problem here as he's the control car and he controls this one easily into turn number 1, side by side between Rob Higgs on the outside, and on the inside it is Joshua King, and Higgs is going to lose 1 spot, maybe even 2, as the one of Presley now to the inside as well. And he's going to dive it down in here, and Presley's going to try and go 2 for 1 here as he got Higgs through 1 and 2, and now onto the front stretch. Still going to be side by side as Higgs scraping the wall here a little bit. Back in 5th place, Davis Shively, Jorge Ledesma, James Smith, David Chapman, Tiffany Ellis, and Tristan Miner for your top 10. I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in here so far tonight. It's been a little bit of a caution fest to start, and just some issues with drivers kind of a little too jumpy on the throttle, getting out of these corners, or even a little too long on the throttle, getting into the corners, as we've seen a little bit of contact a couple times from the drivers. But all in all, this is not the easiest track. Just because it's a 1 mile track, I understand why Jimmy thinks it's a short track, because it does kind of feel confined at times, and it's definitely not the easiest to get around.
Yeah, it's how flat the corners are, and which is kind of strange because when I'm in the GT3 car, like I like tracks like Sebring and Indy and all them flat tracks that have no banking in the corners. It is definitely a unique thing, just your driving style. So one thing suits everybody. Not everybody can be a NASCAR driver. Not everybody can be a road driver. So each to their own, and out here these drivers are doing the best they can here. Right now it's Jeremy Gill up front over Timothy Presley trying to make the way. Jeremy blinking out there just a little bit, but Timothy Presley trying to push the issue, trying to get that number 1 to the front.
Presley now all over the back of Jeremy Gill, peeking to the inside here in turn number 1. Going to dive it down there, utilize the lower portion of this track, and you see up at the top the 4 of Gill getting that thing to rotate nicely through the corner. And you can, it's one kind of line you can run, because you can get a little bit slick at the top, but if you can control that slickness, if you can kind of get, one tire just off the edge of the new, the new pavement down there, there's a chance you can kind of help yourself rotate through the corner, but you can only do that so long. You can do it, for a couple laps, just defend or to maybe make a pass, but you don't want to do that, I don't think, lap after lap, because it will wear those tires in. And it's another aspect that we don't really talk about too often, is wearing out the correct tire. Jimmy, you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, you don't want to wear out the right front. It's better to wear out the right rear, and that's all about how you enter and exit your corners, depending on which way you like the car. Some people might like a tight race car. I sure the heck don't. So I like it to turn when I want it to turn.
Yeah, and it's you see that probably more often from your quote-unquote better drivers, having that knowledge of wanting the car to be loose on those first few laps, and wanting to kind of overdrive the car, at least to extra wear in that right rear, because if you can wear in that right rear a little bit more, and kind of loses a little bit more grip throughout the run, towards the end of the run, it won't be as loose, because that right front is still going to wear in pretty good, but it'll be at least closer to neutral instead of just pushing like a dump truck at the end of the run. So you really want to kind of focus on wearing in that right rear. As the 6 bored in, I think, a little bit extra on the exit of the corner there, getting a little too free on the exit, but we got ourselves a little bit of a green flag run here, Jimmy. So we'll see what these drivers can do now, stretching out. Not sure what the fuel mileage is here for tonight, so we'll just sit back and wait and see. And honestly, even when we get to the first pit stops, even if these races go green, I feel like we've lost touch of what we know about fuel mileage anymore. I feel like we've been, I don't know, if we're out of the loop so long that we have a lot of trouble figuring out what the heck is going on with fuel mileage.
It has a lot to do with how much fuel that each of the leagues run, and they're all a little bit different. So let's see. Monday nights they run full fuel. And tonight I'm not sure. Tuesdays there's supposed to be 40? Was it 40% for core, or 45?
I believe 40%. Yep.
Yeah, so 40% for core, and then CSRL they run like a half a tank, but they can refill all the way back up for the GT cars. And I'm not quite sure on our doubleheader there with the pit road speed limit racing. I'm not quite sure on their fuel levels either. So it's just kind of, they're all over the place, Carl. So I mean, it is going to boggle our brains just a little bit. Maybe we need to write them down in notes somewhere, because it doesn't tell you in the info like how much fuel, which would be kind of handy. But we're not driving, so I mean, really, what does it matter? I mean, they come in when they come in, right? Oh, exactly. 23 goes around.
Another incident here for Matt Ulmer. Looks like it's off the racing surface, so the caution will not come out. And I don't see too much damage. Looks like maybe just kind of looped that thing around and got it down into the grass. But man, what a turn of events for the 23. Just not having it here tonight, as we'll take a look and see what happened here. Oh, into the back of the birthday boy. Little shot, little smack of the behind, maybe a little happy birthday. I don't know, but it sends the 23 into the grass.
A little happy birthday bump there, but on the it didn't send the 69 around. It definitely sent the 23. 23 just can't seem to get them tires underneath the car. Was able to get them underneath the car for that qualifying lap though, so. I'm sure he's not happy with his performance here early on, but you never know, Carl. Let's see if I bring up the tower and I can hit to see how many laps down is he. he's only one lap down, and there's plenty of racing. It takes one caution. Matt Ulmer gets back on the lead lap, and then he can start working his way back through the field. So right now, all he has to do is just kind of bide his time and don't let the number one, the Timothy Presley, who is now leading this thing, catch up to him. So he has about a half a mile to do that before Timothy Presley
got
gets
another
around.
incident here, and he got exactly what he wanted.
There it is.
As it looks like it might have started with Zach White. I see him tumbling down through the standings. And right around our birthday boy again, as already happened in front of him. As right there you see the 77 sideways, and looks like the 22 is sideways as well.
Maybe it must be it here.
Looking for the 77 and the 22 on the backstretch. This is in turn 2 here. So yeah,
Well, the 7
maybe,
and
just
no, see
extra.
out there, up the 7 and the 60 get together up front, top of the screen. That's what starts it.
77 just nowhere to go except directly into the side. Hard impact there to the side of Bryson Anderson. And then the 22 there into the 60. Not a good race already for Shane King here. It looked like he finally got that thing right.
Not the turtles.
Through there, but now the turtle found a way through in the 6. Jimmy, I'm telling you, I think the 6 man got the wall there a little bit, but the birthday boy got a big old chunk of the 60.
Parking lot.
Well, I mean, we obviously the name of the series here, Hold Your Brakes Academy, and I think the drivers involved in the incident initially did what they were supposed to do. They held their brakes. They did a good job, but I think the drivers out there in the field, if there's a caution that comes out, if you see cars sideways, if you see smoke, whatever it is, you got to slow down. I mean, there's no reason to be speeding in there as quick as some of these cars were still going. That caution and this cars were sideways for quite some time before some of those late impacts here. They were not light little nudges. They were not guys that were, okay, well, I couldn't figure out which way you're going to slide. They were full on hard impacts there. So it's worth, talking to the drivers and letting them know, like, hey, listen, when the caution comes out, you guys, you got to slow down. it's not like it's like you're coming up to a stoplight and the yellow comes out. It means speed up. To hurry up and get through before the red light comes out. But either way, it'll put us on another caution. Looks like we got a lot of takers to pit road this time, so this will be the first time I think we'll get a full idea of what these cars can do now on fresh tires. As I was a little close there between the 4 and the 50, but it's going to be Joshua King out front, David Shively, Rob Higgs, David Chapman, Tiffany Ellis for your top 5, Shane McLean, Robert Altman, Drafty Beef, Ryan Perrone, and Quinn McLean for your top 10.
Yeah, back to the, obviously drivers just kind of checking up. It's just about patience, Obviously, there's so much race left. And the drivers start getting frustrated at this point. Obviously, they were on a pretty decent run there. 17 leading them down here. It was a great start by the 17, the 14, and the 85. Just kind of get things started here.
14
no!
goes around, and big impact there with the 11, the 77 getting right back involved again. I think Matt Ulmer finally snuck through one of them there. But Higgs, I think, just kind of lost it by himself into the turn. Take a look at that one more time. Just maybe thought the 17 of King was going to be a little faster into the corner. Had a check up, and that thing immediately broke loose. And you start to wonder, Jimmy, I mean, these drivers can mess with their brake biases here on the starts. And I know we talked about you want to kind of, heat up that right rear tire. But that's not the way you want to do it.
All the 11 just lined up, nowhere to go. Head-on collision with the 14. Tough break there. 77 getting involved. A few others as well. Some drivers still trying to sneak through. 23 just got back on a lead lap and was like, it's probably like, please just stay still. Let me go by. I'm trying to get back, work my way back to the front, trying to get a little luck here. But no love for the 14. Just that brake bias, I think Carl obviously set towards the rear, and just you decide you need to get in the brakes just a little bit harder, and well, they're in the back, so that just puts you in a spin.
Give a shout out. I've seen Tom Lanier out there watching here tonight. He was a dominating force last week out at Las Vegas as he led 73 of the 88 laps out there and went on to win the race over David Shibley, who is looking to try and get back out there and have a one spot better this week. Joshua King came in third last week. Timothy Presley, Jeremy Gill rounding out the top five. That was a good one out there in Vegas. Point standings coming into tonight's really kind of 6 drivers at the top having a real good shot yet. Not out of the realm of possibility for the top 10, but Josh King leads the point standings by 14 over Jeremy Gill, 16 over Drafty Beef, 31 back to Andrew Jones and Timothy Presley tied for 4th. And then in 6th place, 35 points back is Matt Ulmer, Tiffany Ellis, Shane King, Robert Altman, James Smith rounding out your top 10. As pace car lights are out here one more time, we'll see if we can get a nice little green flag run here once we get back going, as these drivers I think are wanting to get something going here. But this is a situation again where talked about it before, cautions breeding cautions, and the drivers maybe starting to get a little antsy and wanting to really make some moves as soon as the green flag drops, and that's where a lot more cautions can come into play.
Yeah, I mean, we're still not quite at that halfway point. So a lot of this, I mean, the antsy, obviously people want to race, and they see the opportunity, so they try to make it happen, and then they get excited and then get on the throttle too heavy, and that's where they're losing the back end coming out. But we're gonna hop on board here with the Viper King as he gets on the loud pedal there. We'll see Barney waving the flag as he heads down into turn 1, goes out to the outside, off the brakes there, about 1.5 to 2 board. Let that car rotate around on that dark pavement there. He's gonna get it going and then slowly get in the gas down the backstretch. Go down to the backstretch, same thing. Gonna head down about the 2 board, down under the brakes in a straight line. Get that car turning here, and I couldn't quite get it on that white line. The middle line felt the best for me, Carl, when I was driving around here. So I mean, it just takes a lot more letting up and driving in to really get that car to rotate down at the bottom. But the middle lane seemed felt okay. Just had to wait for that car to round out of the corner before you really got in the gas.
Yeah, it's as we're gonna have another caution. It looks like David Chapman involved in this one, but yeah, it's one where you talk about patience for the drivers. You have to have patience, just even by yourself. You're trying to get through the corner as. Looks like the 88 just too much throttle on exit and going to spin it down here to the inside. Hard impact again. I mean, I know there's a safer barrier down there, but it feels like that wall is very, very solid here tonight and seen some major damage. Looks like the 88 getting away okay here. Not the crazy amount of damage that we've seen to other cars, but again, just some more drivers just getting a little bit too aggressive on that throttle.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that the drivers can take away from tonight, though, is just kind of getting used to this type of track, Carl. I mean, obviously, as much as I give the track a bunch of crap, it's because I can't drive it, and at least these drivers are out here attempting to get some, some well-needed experience on these flat tracks, and next time they come back here, it'll be a little bit better, and over again. And that's just how it happens. You start knowing the track, and especially if you stick with the same car, more time on the track's better because you kind of know the track really well. But really running with the same car really kind of helps things too. If you're somebody like me that likes to bounce around with all the different cars because it's cool or fun, you tend to make more mistakes more often until you get the experience with all the vehicles. So, but right now, Joshua King out front right now over Davis, then Drafty Beef in 3rd, Sean McLean's in 4th, Tiffany Ellis has moved up to 5th. Biggest mover of the race right now, though, Carl, Robert Altman back there in number 94.
Want to give a shout out to our series sponsor here, and that is obviously pinupsforvets.com. And a thank you to Joe Thomas. Looks like not in the field here tonight. I'm sure he's I don't want to say jet setting. He's probably driving somewhere and with the race team and getting set up for another weekend. Or I'm sure he'd be out here driving with these other guys and trying to put some good laps down here at New Hampshire. But thank him once again for the help and the sponsorship here and bringing CRN on board to cover the Hold Your Brakes Academy. And it's worth mentioning too. I mean, we've said it before that this is kind of a beginner type league. It's geared more towards the drivers that don't maybe have that much experience. And this is, I believe, only their second season. I think last year they started out with just the super speedways to get everybody a chance to get out there and on tracks where you didn't have to worry about too much other than holding the gas down and trying to make your way around the track. Now this season they wanted to implement some of the some of the intermediate tracks there, and then the 1 milers, 1.5 milers, the 2 milers to kind of mix it up here a little bit. And then I believe next year is when they'll start getting more of the short tracks involved in the actual season. But either way, it is back under green here, and hopefully we get a nice little run in here. Getting close to the halfway point, but it's been a struggle getting to this point so far for the drivers. Just again, I mean, we've really seen maybe another incident as we've really seen two things bringing out the cautions here tonight. One is the the drivers getting a little bit too deep into the corner and getting into somebody else, or the driver just getting a little bit too hard on the gas and just kind of looping it around on themselves. So hopefully we'll get this thing figured out for the second half of the race. But 3 wide into the corner as Higgs shoots the gap and somehow they make it through. Oh, and we got another caution.
Yeah, it's just James Smith. I think just solo. I seen the car going coming up the corner. Right there. Boop. It's a little too much gas. It's so touchy. Like, these cars got so much power for what they are, Carl. And that when that cars rotate and all that weight is out there on that outside, and they get on that gas, and it just grips and goes, and the inside has nothing.
you know it as well as I do, Jimmy. It's not easy to have the patience that you need to run tracks like this. I mean, it's you need it. Even in we mentioned it in the GT3 cars. I mean, you need it to kind of it'll help you save fuel. It'll help you with your tire management in the GT3 cars just as much as here with the Xfinity cars. But it's so easy to just want to jump on that throttle coming out of there, and you feel planted. Like, you feel like the car's coming through there, and if anything, you feel like the car is probably pushing coming out of the corner. So you feel, okay, well, it's pushing. I can just get on the gas. It's gonna, if anything, it's gonna get a little bit loose coming off. But no, you get on that gas just a smidge too much. Maybe the max you can get on is 60%. You get on 61, you're gonna happen right like it happened right there for the 9. It just is gonna loop on you and go right into the inside wall, and it's just it's a learning curve, and it takes some time figuring out. So hopefully the drivers can figure it out here for the second half of the race, as we're just about at that halfway point right now.
I was going to blame the fog, but that seems to be gone now too.
That's lifted. Yeah, that has lifted. It's still the first half of the race, so I mean, we can still blame Colton if that's if that's in the cards as well.
Yeah, we're at this time by will be the start of lap number 50, so still have 51 laps to go here, yeah, it's still plenty of racing. So only halfway. A bunch of cautions to kind of stir things up, see who can survive here there early. Now, who can survive to the end? Who's going to be the winner out there? Obviously, still got a lot of good race cars out there. Still got up front right now. 17, the 85, the 2, Drafty Beef, Tiffany Ellis is up there. Sean McLean is up there for your top 5. Then you got Gil back there in 6. Robbie Miner is in the up top 10 along with Jorge Ledesma and Robert Altman. And the Turtles car has made it into the top 10 as well. Timothy Presley sitting 10th. Rob Higgs is back there in 11th. Quinn McLean in 12th. Ryan Perrone is in 13th. Bryson Anderson in 14th. Tristan Miner back there in 15th. Dave Chapman, James Smith, Anthony Strickland, Andrew Jones, Zach White, Shane King, Matt Ulmer, Robert White.
Head back to the line, and this will complete the first half of the race. 50 laps now in the books. 50 more to go. Joshua King gets a good restart here. Drafty Beef down to the inside here. Looking for second. Forget that. That's not enough. He's looking for first through turns 1 and 2. Side by side back here in the back half of the top 5 as well. But at the front, Drafty Beef moves the number 2 out to the front. Joshua King trying to fight back on the outside, but the 2 is your new leader.
Yeah, Drafty getting that 2 up front, place that you want to be, obviously. If they got enough fuel, they can go the rest of the way. But we've seen cautions kind of plague the first half, so just take your time, save your car. You got up front, and it's save it for another corner. But right now, drivers trying to make their way through a little bit of a bobble. Tiffany Ellis goes for a ride.
Big impact there. I think Ellis was putting the spin cycle on that one on the inside. Let's take a look at what brought this one out. And again, turn 2 claims another victim. And you see just right there, little bump, little extra throttle. Gill goes to the outside and takes the outside wall. But heavy, heavy impact for the 87. It looks like everybody was able to avoid. Shane King just misses, but the 77 involved again. Big impact right there. The 23 Ulmer sneaking by. What a birthday boy. Yeah, just maybe a little kiss on the back end there. But either way, he's going to make it on by. But this was a rough one, to say the least. A 3 sneaking by as well. 77 is done and cooked. Going to have to tow back to pit lane. I would assume the 87 may have done the same thing as well. Hard impact.
Yeah, tough break. And like I said, it's a tough track. It's a driver's track, and patience is a virtue. We can say it all night long. And those that can manage to find the patience and avoid the incidents will, get a great finish here. We do have a lot of drivers that are up some big spots. Robert Altman being one of them right now in 94. Robbie Miner up 10 spots, sitting in P number 6. So some people having some success, Carl, and obviously those that have not are finding themselves towards the back of the pack right now. So still got plenty of racing. They have the opportunity to kind of make their way through. I'll go ahead and bring up the tower here where it shows everybody where they're at with the gap from the front to the back, so you can kind of see who's still on the lead lap. Still 17 drivers on the lead lap. Ryan Perrone being the last of those 17 drivers. Jones, King, Ulmer, White, Ellis, all laps down. Ellis has a meatball flag, so required repairs needed on the number 87, and maybe under tow still, or maybe the fast repair was off.
Yeah, or maybe using up the fast repairs already. Not sure. I don't think I remember seeing her involved in the other ones, but either way, pace car lights are out. We're going to get this thing back under green again. And Jimmy, I think since we're in the second half of this race, it's about time we crank these drivers up. Hopefully, maybe that's what we need. Maybe we just need to step away from the booth here a little bit. Let these engines roar with a little love to hear it.
A little low to hear it. Well, the sights and sounds have come to an end, but it's at the motion of a caution as we're trying to let the boys the boys and girls out there just have fun. But here comes a caution at lap 71 here. Just the 7 trying to stay off the 9 staying on the wall, but the 60 getting in the back of the 7 here sends the 7 around down to the inside, and then 60. Oh,
I think
weird.
actually, I think the 7 bounced up high enough that the 60's nose went underneath on the way by. Got a good sniff of the other carriage on the way by, but either way, looked like it kept the damage away. But unfortunately, it's going to bring out another caution here. It's going to give a chance for all these drivers to make. We could very well be their final pit stop. They're not going to need another pit stop after this. It just depends on if a late caution comes out. They want to come in and get some tires. But yeah, I mean, as we mentioned there in the chat, not sure if we wanted to come back. We're talking about coming back for a couple laps. Like, don't want to jinx it. They're going good now. Don't talk about it. Don't look at them. Just don't touch it. Nothing. But either way, we're back here live now as. It was Joshua King leading the way, but we got some differing strategies here now. Ryan Perron Sr. staying out there on the track, not bringing the 50 in. We'll see if he comes in next time by. Joshua King in and out. We got 4 fresh tires. Robbie Minor looks like going with a differing strategy here. Moves up to 3rd place right now in that 53. Jeremy Gill, Drafty Beef for your top 5. David Shively, Rob Higgs Jr., Timothy Presley, Jorge Ledesma, and Robert Altman for your top 10. Looks like, unfortunately, for Robert White, the night isn't exactly going the way he envisioned it here on the or maybe it is. Maybe he just able to kick back a few, and maybe he's not really seeing how bad the race is going here so far.
He said he was just out here to have fun. If he's having fun, that's all that matters. When it's your birthday, it's just gotta. Obviously you'd love to win, but I think he's under, just wants to be out here, have fun, enjoys a night of racing, and just kind of do his thing. And right now, 69, obviously a few laps down, but that's okay. As long as the 69's still having fun, he's let's see, where is he? Yeah, he's a couple laps down, so not too bad. But just go out here and get some laps in, and this is a tough track to be like, I'm just going to go to New Hampshire and have some fun. At least not in my book, I'm not.
I was going to go to the back of the pack here. Obviously, as you see, down a few laps here. It's certainly not out of the realm of possibility with all these cautions here, as we're back up to 18 cars on the lead lap. But then we got Ulmer, King, and White all 2 laps down. Looks like Tiffany Ellis done for the night, as is Zach White in 22nd and 23rd. But back to racing here. A little bit of a slow, maybe confusing start here at the front. Perron going to send it down into turn number 1, but King has got fresh tires. So does Gill as they work their way through the corners. This is where it can get a little bit sketchy, a little bit head scratching of what people are going to do. But looks like going to survive through turns 1 and 2 for the most part, but not everybody. As in the back of the pack, we're going to have another caution.
That's a big one. SDKs,
a lot of red names.
A lot of red names and SDKs.
Oh, 3 meatballs as well.
Ooch. Oh, it's right there with the 6 getting loose into the 9 up top screen.
And that was just the start of it, as this is kind of the
oh no, Matt Ulmer
here.
And Tristan Minor back in Ulmer. Did you see that hood on the 69 pop up before it even got into an accident?
This was a big one. This was the big one at New Hampshire. I mean, this is far from a super speedway, but you see just a parking lot on the backstretch.
Yeah, and I'm just watch, like, he doesn't even make any contact yet.
Yes. I think the hood was trying to save itself.
It just looked just like the motor just blew, but just wreck everywhere. So just tough break there for the 69 birthday boy, getting wrapped up into another one, and the other drivers involved there: Robert White, Matt Ulmer, Shane King, Bryson Anderson, Anthony Strickland, Anthony Jones, James Smith. So a big one here. 7 drivers involved on lap 75.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Chad, the birthday bash indeed. As, that was a big impact there for the 69 of Robert White, and he is one of the 3 cars out of meatball. I forget who the third one was, but James Smith is another one that had a meatball and is in the pits right now. I'm guessing had a toe in there, but it's what New Hampshire can do. Again, it's just because it's a 1 mile track, just because it's a it's just your typical oval here, but the flatness of this track gives you very, very little grip coming out of the corners. It's kind of funny. You have basically as much grip here coming out of the corners as they do at Dover, and Dover has 10 times the grip or the banking, but Dover at least has it where the banking kind of flattens out a bit on the straightaways, and that's where you get the kind of the wheel slippage coming off the corners. Here, it's straight up, it's throttle. You have to contain your want to get on that throttle, and it's so easy to do by yourself.
Yeah, you need a good spring. My spring is actually a little bit light for my liking, but if it's light, you have a tendency, even just the lightest touch with your foot will put the gas to the floorboard. So get yourself a nice, like a stiffer spring in your gas pedal. It'll be a little bit easier to modulate, just a little bit, in my opinion. But we're getting ready to go back to green here with 23 laps to go. Perone is on the loud pedal there, winning number 50, trying to get things done here. Obviously, just trying to use that track position to get a good finish here, and still mayhem going around as the 53 goes around behind him.
And then we're going to get to the backstretch on this one, and starting to look better and better for Perone. We kind of questioned him staying out there with with the older tires and taking over the lead, but maybe he's realizing that these cautions are breeding cautions, and he can kind of just control and dictate these restarts and maybe find a way to make it to the end. Where it looks like another meatball, this time going to Davis Shively.
You'll see what happened here. Ooh.
Drafty Beef trying to keep it off the 4 and swipes right on the 53 here. Robbie Minor sending him around, and I'm sure Samantha's not going to be too happy about that. As the 53 going to get into the wall there. Looks like the 85 getting sideways. Rob Higgs possibly getting involved there as well. But a nice little T right there, as nobody really touching each other. Looks like maybe Minor getting away with minor damage, but here the 6, maybe the first time that the 6 of Shane McLean did not make it through an incident and gets into the back of 85 of Shively pretty hard right there. And then the 1 of Timothy Presley, nowhere to go. Head-on collision right there. As the 85 just getting tossed around like a rag doll in turns 1 and 2.
Tough break there for some of those drivers, just kind of getting wrapped up, and it happens so quickly. I mean, short track, flat track, super speedway, whatever it may be, things happen, 100 plus miles an hour. I mean, even if you're doing that in real life, reaction times are very low, or you need to have really quick reactions. But it looks like the 53 had a fast repair, Carl. So 53 getting down and out, new tires, getting back out there. So let's see if the 53 can recover here before the end of the race. 20 laps to go. Ryan Perone still out front here with Joshua King in P number 2. Jim McGill in 3rd. Rob Higgs in 4th. Jorge Ledesma in 5th. And then it's David Chapman, Robert Altman, Quinn McLean, Andrew Jones, Timothy Presley, Anthony for your top 10. And then we still got.
Here's the question, Jimmy. We got 19 laps to go. It's gonna be 18 at the line. Do we need to go back under? Love to hear it for the last 20 laps. Do we need to just shut ourselves off here again? I mean, just to give these drivers a chance. We're sorry? Question mark? I'm not really sure at this point.
I mean, don't listen.
No, we are going to stay live. Yeah, we are going to stay live. Maybe all the drivers, if there's any drivers out there listening to the broadcast, mute us for the sake of your own car. Just mute us. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Maybe our voices are just piercing the ears here tonight. Certainly piercing the tires for sure. And as these drivers getting loose left and right, but we're going to get this thing back underway one way or another. We will finish this thing tonight, I promise. As Ryan Perone going to be the control car here again. Back on the loud pedal, we're racing again here at New Hampshire, the Magic Mile. Hopefully there's a little magic in these last 20 laps.
The Perone trying to get things done. Obviously just don't have the grip to get the car to turn, but needs to fight off the rest of the drivers. It's currently sitting in P number 2, so looking for just a good finish. Trying everything he can, the 50, to kind of get a great finish here. Right now, obviously the new tires of Gil was able to get around easily. It looks like Josh is underneath the 50 now, is going to be able to get the 17 to rotate to work his way by, heading down into the corner. Oh, of course my track map goes away.
Close. And we're going to have another caution towards the back. It was close to a caution at the front, but looks like Matt Ulmer involved in this one again. Quinn McLean involved as well. We'll take a look back and see what may have brought this one out.
Up front. Nope. They survived
53 right there. The 53, Robbie Minor, maybe a little perturbed after the last incident. Unfortunately, a little bit deep into turn 1. We've seen it 3 or 4 times here tonight. Gets into the back of the 21. And Quinn McLean goes sideways. And it looks like 53 going to get by that time. The 11 down to the bottom. Not sure I seen where Matt Ulmer got involved. It might have been right there.
He's in the
on
grass,
the bottom.
Yeah.
Sideways. So going to bring out another caution on this one here tonight. We're going to be getting closer to 10 laps to go at this point. So I mean, we're getting closer to the end, but these drivers are, I guess, just not wanting the green flag out here tonight.
I mean, they want to race all night. I mean, we can add can we add a couple more laps? I mean, overall, Carl. I mean, there's. check. No, I think overall, I think the drivers are able to get out here and at least to get some time on the track. Obviously, still need to work on throttle control and you're judging the person that you're racing in front of you or behind you. Whether you need to get on the brakes a little harder, lighter, earlier, and then the same thing with throttle application. So. I mean, there's a lot of good that can come out of even from the races that are kind of, speckled with or even littered with the caution flags. But they did have a few good runs in there, so we can't overlook the good green flag runs that they've had here tonight at Hold Your Brakes Academy. And like we said, this league was brought together by a lot of people in common, trying to learn how to race and being able to hang out with family members or friends or whatever it may be, and just kind of learn together. So they got a lot of people out there that kind of help and assist when people ask. That's the type of information. But I'm sure they'll go back, review the tapes, and put out some good teaching points here for tonight's race. But overall, I don't think it's been too bad. I mean, obviously we got a lot of time to talk up here. Me and Carl can probably do that for quite a few hours. But Jeremy Gill right now is your leader over Joshua King, Jorge Ledesma. Ryan Perone is still up there. In P number 4, Rob Higgs sitting in 5th. Robert Altman is in 6th. And that's Dave Chapman, Timothy Presley, Drafty Beef, Andrew Jones for your top 10. Robbie Minor, David Shively, Anthony Strickland, Tristan Minor, Quinn McLean, and Sean McLean. So I think there's 16 drivers on the lead lap.
We got 18 viewers right now of the race, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I definitely want to thank everyone out there for your support here of CRN. And it's not just here for the race. I mean, it's great because we see so many drivers and fans out there. There may be a fan of this series, but we'll see them out there watching the Core Xfinity series or the 191 Sports, or some drivers or fans from that league watching other ones, and it's really. It's cool to see the race communities that we cover starting to kind of build a little community here on CRN as well, and watching all the going on, because we do have some great racing out there. I know it's been a little rough here as
I'm not saying names. I'm just clicking on cars.
Yeah, Turtle Shell getting a little banged in there on that one. But, right there. Mike Casey's definitely one of them that he likes to tune into CRN whenever he gets a chance. We appreciate that out there, Mike. But, it's as we said, it's been a little rough one here tonight. but New Hampshire can do that. I mean, we've seen that with even I think the Core Xfinity series. I want to say a couple seasons ago. We might have another one here. Ledesma locks it up, but we're going to get another caution here. And another big one here, another parking lot.
Oh, engine's blowing.
Oh, and even the 60 gets tagged there at the end. As we got another blown engine this time. Actually, 3 blown engines. We got Drafty
Jorge Ledesma, Quinn McLean, Robbie Miner, Tristan Miner, Matt Ulmer, Tristan Miner, Dave Shifley, Bryson Anderson, Shane King, all kind of getting wrapped up in here. It started early before the caution came out, so kind of go up here.
Samantha, avert your eyes on this one, as both Tristan and Robbie now with a meatball flag, along with Drafty Beef and Matt Ulmer also having the meatball flag on this one. This was a rough one here, late stages of the race. But as I mentioned, we had it with the Core Xfinity series. I want to say, last season or the last couple of seasons where we went caution free for 100 laps, and then we had another race where it was about 21 cautions for the 100 lap race. It can happen. It's just the nature of the beast here, as it all depends on the grip and how much patience the drivers have coming out of these corners. But this was another big one. A lot of drivers involved in this one. So apologize to those out there looking for green flag laps. We're trying here, and we considered going under a second. Love to hear it. Just give everyone out there some more green flag laps. It seems like that's the only point where we had some green here tonight. But either way, we're getting closer to the end of this thing. Under 10 laps to go here, so only going to be a couple more restarts at the most.
Yeah, just a few more to go here, and just kind of letting the tapes play here, just so people can kind of see what happened. Obviously, right here is it was just Jorge just kind of getting loose, and probably Tristan seeing that and letting up and braking and just nowhere to go anyways, and then ends up getting into the wall there and spinning around. Robbie, I think that was Robbie. I think, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Robbie. Tristan. Yeah, come on, Tristan back here. Don't SDK maybe mess up on me here. Tristan back here just kind of caught up in, I think, just trying to, seeing stuff happening and then trying to figure out where to go. When stuff starts going awry, your initial instinct might be to go to one way, but you need to go the other, and see if he gets tagged in the back to see if he gets any assistance in his
minor crime here.
Yeah, right.
Oh no! It was Robbie sliding out and catching the 22, and then big impact here for Matt Ulmer as
oh my
Tristan
goodness! Look at this.
Up and over, riding on top of the 9. So again, Samantha, we apologize. I know some people like to tune in to see your end to help them fall asleep as they listen to the soothing voices of myself and Jimmy. I don't think Samantha's going to sleep too good tonight after that one right there. Both Kristen and Robbie getting involved and getting a meatball flag. It looks like their night may end up being done here as well. At least I had to tow back to pit lane. So we're going to get this thing back underway. The 4 of Jeremy Gill leading up back to the green flag this time. Joshua King on the front row as well. The 88 of David Chapman trying to get up there and almost gets into the side of the 17. May have gotten to the side of the 17. Going to make the pass on the inside here as Presley going to sneak by as well for 3rd. And another caution here off of turn number 2.
I'm not quite sure who.
And this is, I think, Jimmy, this is bringing up right what I talked about early in the race. These drivers are seeing these cautions come out so quickly that they're making aggressive moves because they feel that the next caution is going to be right around the corner. So they're trying to get 2, 3, 4 positions right away on these restarts, and it's causing more melee.
Yeah, we see that kind of often, to be honest, and I get it. Everybody wants to win, so you try to take advantage of that 6-inch gap that somebody left you, and you try to send it in there. Maybe like it's gonna hold. I know it's gonna hold. No, it doesn't hold. It ends up getting into the driver next to you. So it's just obviously you just got to remember who you're around and whatnot. And I seen Joshua King back off when Chapman was down the inside, and he probably could have stuck it to the outside, but I think he noticed situation quickly and ended up letting off, and that allowed Timothy Presley to go by as well. So I think that's just kind of just the type of drivers you kind of want around. Even you see somebody driving aggressive, and if you don't back off, the incident's just going to happen, and who's going to let up? Because I know a lot of times when you're out there and you go for a move and you don't know if it's going to stick or not, it's like a big game of chicken. If we don't move, we're going to hit each other, but somebody might let up, and a lot of times nobody does, and that's why a lot of some of these accidents happen. But I think the 17 right there decided to not play chicken and let up to live another corner, especially this late in the race. This is the critical time when you get into an accident and you just have no time to make it up. And like Carl was saying, you group everybody up and everybody sees that opportunity to not only make one but maybe two positions in a race that's been flavored with a lot of yellow tonight, and trying to get that good finish, maybe move you up a position in your championship or whatever it may be. But right now, lights are off on the pace car. 5 laps to go. When they cross the line, they will have 5 laps to finish the race here, and we'll see if we can get to the end. But it's Jeremy Gill over David Chapman, Timothy Presley, Joshua King, and Andrew Jones for your top 5. Rob Higgs Jr. sits there in P number 6 with Davis Shively, Sean McLean, Robert Altman, and then Quinn McLean for your top 10. Anthony Strickland, Drafty Beef, Jorge Ledesma, Ryan Perrone for your cars in the lead lap, then James Smith, Shane King, Bryce Anderson, Robert White, Tristan Miner, Robbie Miner, Matt Ulmer, Tiffany Ellis, and Zach White for your 23 car field tonight.
Yeah, I agree with Ken out there. I think these drivers may need some match perfect and staggered special tires out there, but or maybe just pull the old Harry Hog and tell them that they are, even though they're nothing different than any other tires out there. But either way, we're back under green. Hopefully this time we can make it to the back stretch without any kind of issues. Almost an issue there, very close to some wrecking back in the back, but we will make it to turn number 3. Still caution free as we go to the front of the field for Jeremy Gill, Timothy Presley, David Chapman, Joshua King, and Rob Higgs for your top 5. The laps starting to wind down here. If we get a caution at any point here, as that was close between the 6 and 94, and definitely think there was a little bit of contact, but it will bring us under a green-white checkered as Rob Higgs. Big impact on the backstretch, and he ends up towing it to pit lane right away. Might be the end of the night for the 14 there. We'll take a look and see what happened here, and little bobble of the cars in front of him. Oh, the 88 goes sideways, and the 14 nowhere to go, locks it up. And if his back end would have touched the wall on the outside there, it probably would have straightened him out just enough. But unfortunately, the front end does a whole lot of making out with the inside wall there, and didn't work out too well for the 14. Going to be the end of the night as that thing, I thought it went up in smoke. There was no meatball flag there for the 14. Actually, no, it did pop up. So Rob Higgs had a tow back to pit lane. At the end of the night for him, as well as, very many others here in the field here tonight. But Jeremy Gill up there at the front right now, and this is what Gill needs. I mean, I know it's been a long race. We're going to go into overtime here. We got some more racing yet for you. This ain't over just yet.
It's over.
This is green white checkered 1 of 3. So I know this 100 lap race has seemed to be about a 300 lap race at this point, but we're still not done with this thing. And really, when it comes to the championship implications, this is what needs to happen here for Jeremy Gill. He wants to try and get back up to the top spot here, as again coming into tonight, he is in second place in the points behind Joshua King by 14. Drafty Beef 16 points back. Coming in tonight, Andrew Jones and Timothy Presley both 31 points back as well. Joshua King up there in 4th. But Gill, Presley, and Jones, the 3 of the drivers that are close and chasing him, are in front. So Joshua King here is certainly going to look to try and get up there and get himself a podium, not just to talk to us. I mean, that's obviously the number one reason to get in the top 3, but also to try and do a little damage control for the points.
Yeah, I mean, they're still in Josh is not in a horrible position. I think that, thinking about it, that's probably why I let off earlier when I was talking about it. It's thinking of a little bigger picture than tonight's race here, trying to get that win and to just finish good here at New Hampshire as a challenge and try to stay out of the melee and everything else that goes on here. We're going to go ahead and attempt a green-white checker here. So it's just going to be a 3-lap shootout, and they got a couple times to try this, but they, as a driver, you don't want to do that, obviously, unless you're maybe back farther in the field and so many wrecks in front of you, and then you get a couple more positions. But nobody really wants a caution littered race. Sometimes it's maybe you're having a good time talking with your buddies in your Discord crew box or whatever it may be, so the time just kind of flies by. But a lot of drivers, when they get like a race like this, they'll get frustrated. Tempers could be high, even though they're friends amongst friends here. But lights are off in the pace car, and let's get ready to see if we can finish this thing up.
Green white checkered attempt number 1 here, back underway. The 4 of Gill gets a good restart here. Timothy Presley is going to be there in second place. Side by side for third as Andrew Jones to the inside, Joshua King to the outside. An attempt there by the 1 to try and get inside the 4. Not going to happen. Down to the backstretch. If they get back to the white flag, the next one will end it. So hopefully we can get to see that here, heading off into turn at number 3. The 4 of Gill stretching out that lead here a little bit. Timothy Presley chasing 3 wide here in the back as Drafty Beef trying to make his way back up through the field. And
Dix has gone around.
We've got the white flag already, so this will end it. The white flag is out. 1 more lap to go. The 4 of Jeremy Gill trying to hold on to that spot. More cars getting involved here, and this may end up being a melee on the front stretch for these drivers to get in there. How about Timothy Presley sending it? Tried to get to the back bumper, almost did. But coming out of the final corner, Jeremy Gill is going to get it done here tonight. Timothy Presley in second. Andrew Jones and Joshua King for your top 4. Davis Shively rounding out your top 5. Chapman, Altman, Beef, Ledesma, and Strickland for your top 10. But man, apparently Harry did call down to the 1 car, and he tried to hit the 4 there at the end. But Jeremy Gill going to get it done.
Yeah, it's definitely a long and tough race for some of these drivers, and I'm sure they'll be thinking about maybe they never want to come back to New Hampshire, or at least not for a little while if you've had a bunch of bad luck. But we'll go ahead and we'll bring up those race results here in a minute. But the biggest move of the race, Carl, up 15 spots, finishing in P number 7, is going to be Robert Altman in the number 94. So great job finishing up there for that machine. And then see who else. David Chapman was up 12 spots, so doing a good job throughout the night. Anthony Strickland finishes in 10th, up 10 spots. Ryan Perone Sr., we've seen him up there leading a lap or 2, finishes in 11th, still up 10 spots. So just kind of overall, just a great run for a few of them drivers out there. And the birthday boy and Gill kind of getting things burning things down here at the end of the race. They're both going to do a reverse lap here. So friends hanging out with friends, even though it was a long one here tonight. Just gonna enjoy the evening. Like I said, the 69 was just out here to have fun, and might not have finished where he wanted to, but he didn't finish last. He finished in the 17th place.
Yeah, and really, I mean, only, well, actually, exactly where he started. I was going to say only a spot down, but he started up there in 17th, finished 17th. So as much as went on and how many laps he was down, that doesn't matter. He still finished where he started. But yeah, a little Polish victory lap here for the 4 as we'll get our top drivers here into the booth here in a bit. Want to thank our sponsor here again, pinupsforvets.com. Certainly check them out and give any kind of support that you can. And thank Joe Thomas for bringing them on board with Hold Your Brakes Academy and bringing CRN on board as well to cover tonight's race here, as we couldn't get it done in 100 laps. We had to go 103. We had to go a little extra here, a little overtime to get this thing done, but Jeremy Gill is the one that got it done. So we'll get them up here in the booth in a bit. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, as this is only race 2 for us for the week, as we got plenty of racing action here with the just anything and everything that we've been covering lately, and still looking to see what the winter months and the fall months are going to hold for us, because I know a lot of these series are coming down to the end. I mean, even here with the Hold Your Brakes Academy, they are coming down to the end of the season with only 2 more races left. You got Talladega next week. They'll have a week off for the Labor Day week, and then they'll finish it up with the 100-lapper at Charlotte for the season finale. But we got our top 3 here in the waiting room. Let's not waste any more time and bring them up here, as we'll bring in our 3rd place finisher here tonight. That is going to be the driver of the 3, Andrew Jones. Andrew, you get that thing up there towards the end of the race. It seemed like you were, well, I can't tell really who was involved in an instance here. There were so many incidents out there tonight, so I'm not sure if and how many you were involved. But either way, you find that 3 up towards the front at the end of the race, and more importantly, you finish up there ahead of Joshua King. So I got to feel like you're looking at maybe these last 2 races, maybe something goes your way at Talladega and or Charlotte, and you still have an outside chance at this championship yet.
Honestly, brother, when I got taken out in that first incident, I thought I was done. Like, I just rode around the back the whole time. I had no idea that a top 3 was even possible.
So definitely a welcome sight to be up there at the end for the last green white checker. Did you have anything for either the 3 or the 1 or the 4? Maybe kind of secretly hoping that the 1 got to the backside of the 4 there in turn 3.
Yeah, I didn't have anything for them. As a matter of fact, we were talking about that just now. My whole thought process was, I said, yeah, I hope y'all race each other like you should, because going into, I think 3 and 1 and 2, I believe, we all locked up. I mean, I went in deep, the 1 went in deep, and I was like, damn, if he wouldn't have went in deep, I'd have had a better run or a shot.
Well, either way, I mean, you finish this thing out, you get yourself a top 3 here tonight. You get to come up here and talk to us, and especially after the way this thing started, obviously you're happy with just finishing this thing, getting up in the top 3. So congrats on the run here tonight. Hopefully get you a little bit closer in that points battle as well, heading into the last couple of races. But before we let you go here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Just a shout out to our league sponsor and our league owner and everybody that comes in and allows me to do this, brother. I love coming to these races, and it's probably my favorite series that I'm in right now.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the finish. Hopefully we get to talk to you again with these next couple of races coming up.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a great night.
You too.
You too. That is a finisher in 3rd here tonight. The 3 of Andrew Jones. 2nd place here tonight. Not without a 1 last-ditch effort there in turn number 3 is going to be the 1 of Timothy Presley.
Hey, Tim, it's Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. Copy.
Yeah, man, got you.
Hey, well, welcome back to the booth here. Obviously, it was a eventful night here tonight, obviously, with a few cautions here and there, but you're able to get yourself a pretty decent finish here, finishing in 2nd place, and almost attempted that last lap, last corner kind of type of pass, but not quite enough in the number 1 here tonight to pull that one off. So give us a little rundown of your race tonight and how things kind of went for you and your team.
Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank my girlfriend for the suggestion of the pink paint scheme. So, Aiden, this one's for you. But overall, it was a pretty good race. There was a lot that I could have done better, especially on pit road with the 3 pit road penalties. Caught speeding 1 mile an hour over 3 times in a row, and I feel like I just kind of screwed myself on that one, for lack of better words. So I feel like if I would have been a little smarter with my gas pedal, especially through there, I would have at least had a little closer of a finish than that.
Well, I mean, either way, I mean, even with the mistakes that you had in pit road, you kind of come out here and you do get yourself a pretty decent finish. A few more races left of the season. How's things looking for that 1 to work your way up to maybe a run for that championship?
Right now, I really just need a couple of good, clean wins. Definitely going to need 2 wins in a row with Talladega and Charlotte coming up, that all being left. If I can perform well there, then I feel like I might have a chance, but I'm just going to have to keep it clean and see how it goes.
A few more races remaining. I wish you the best of luck. But before we let you get out of here, we'll give you some time for any shouts you may have on that number 1.
Yeah, man. Huge shout out to the Checkers Records podcast. Go check them out on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube. They've been a huge help. A&D Automotive, MKM Racing Development, everybody back at the shop working their hind ends off. You know, they had a great finish, great car down at Hickory last week. And just huge shout out to all the guys that can make this possible.
Really appreciate the shout outs. And again, congratulations from us here up in the booth and everybody else out there. We'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the one of Timothy Presley. Top spot here tonight is going to go to the 4 of Jeremy Gill, but fortunately getting word that we still have 2 more green-white checkers to use up here tonight. We didn't get enough laps in there. Jeremy, you ready to go back out there for another 6 laps?
Yeah. Bring them on. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Well, you're probably one of 23 that is ready to go back out there and get some more laps in on this track. I mean, this thing was a bear tonight. It was New Hampshire being New Hampshire with turn 2 just really being the bugaboo here with drivers struggling to get the power down coming out of turn 2. Did you have some issues yourself?
I did several times. What was that? I did
Jimmy
several
being
times.
Jimmy.
But I was able to save it to get it back under me and hold off. And all I did was rolled out of the throttle and quickly turned into it. So was able to manage. And unfortunately, I got a freaking black flag earlier. So then I had to start in the back. So that was interesting.
Well, you found yourself at the front to control the restarts there at the end, but it wasn't without one last scare there going into turn number 3. Did you see that one getting mighty big in your mirror going into 3?
Really big, really fast. Really big, really fast. But after some conversation, we're not going to dive. I knew he wasn't going to do anything, so that was really, really proud of how he's turned it around. Like it speaks volumes, and Timmy's a good kid, man. Like he's a real good kid. I've known him for quite some time. He's a real good kid. It is what it is. But yeah, I knew going into it that he wasn't going to do nothing stupid. But I did see that one car get really big, really fast, and it scared me. It scared me. But luckily, he was able to slow her down.
Yeah, the pink on the hood, I'm sure, made it even more intimidating coming into the corner there. But got to talk about the big picture now as you get the win here tonight. The championship leader, Joshua King, finishing in 4th place. You got a couple car gap in between there. Are the points coming into focus here a little bit these last couple races? I mean, obviously Talladega can be Talladega, so you never really know what you get with that one. But then Charlotte for the season finale. How do you like your hopes here coming in?
I love Charlotte. That's all I can say. I love Charlotte. I love that place. The points has been very stressful, but we'll be all right. We'll make it. We'll be all right. And if Josh ends up winning it, he's been more consistent this season. So if he wins it, he deserves it, man. Like, it's going to be tight. It's going to be close, especially with Talladega next week, because that is such a wild card race, especially right here at the end of the season with how the points and the storylines are playing out. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's, for lack of better words, it's a dick move putting Talladega right there at the end when you got a championship battle coming up here. So
y'all heard it first. Carl said it.
Yep, it can make or break a lot of different seasons here at the end. So it'll be fun to see how that thing shakes out. But I mean, you're in a spot where you have a chance to win the championship with the last couple of races left, regardless. So you've had a good enough season to put you in that spot. So congrats on the win here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, but before you do, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I want to give a thanks to Timmy for not murdering me in turns 3. Big thing is the team. Big thing is the team. You know, they're a bunch of good guys. Silly and full of it sometimes, but they're a bunch of good guys. And big shout out to Andrew, man. He finished 3rd tonight. Like, that's awesome. Also like to talk about pinups for vets and what they do for us. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, Sisk Speed Shop. That's another one. Sorry, it's been so long since I've had to do this. I've kind of forgotten how.
Oh, I mean, that's certainly something you got to fix with these last couple of races coming up here. If we want to have a chance at that championship, we got to talk to you at least one more time, if not 2 more times. So we wish you luck on the rest of the season. And either way, take some time to celebrate this, and we'll see you next week at Dega.
Just not during the race, though, Carl. Right? Just not during the race.
We'll sneak in there. We'll sneak in right in the middle of when as soon as we see you go 4 wide, we're bringing you in.
Mid-turn.
Yep.
So look forward to it. All right. Well, y'all have a good one, y'all.
Later,
too, buddy.
Jeremy.
That is your winner here tonight, the 4 of Jeremy Gill, getting it done here late in the season. Big win here. Obviously, the sponsor of tonight's race here for the Marty's Birthday Bash at New Hampshire. A bit of a rough one here, and I'm sure it'll be discussed with the drivers out there. But I mean, ultimately, Jimmy, we said it how many times during the race? It doesn't matter how good you are. We've seen some of our better series, if you want to call it that we cover, have some just real issues here at New Hampshire with just grip, and whether it be a grip entering the corner that people are a little tentative and other drivers getting in the back of them, or certainly grip coming out of the corner, especially turn number 2.
Yeah, there's like I've said already. You can learn something from every single race, and here tonight, I think the big thing for a lot of drivers is obviously brake application and throttle control coming out of these corners when your car is the weight is shifted a lot farther outside than you think it is, so it doesn't go around. And obviously putting that brake bias backwards might help you rotate during a race, but it definitely does when you have to get on the brakes. It doesn't keep that car from going straight like it normally does. It will bring that rear end around, as we've seen a few times by a few drivers. So it's definitely an interesting race here tonight. Looking forward to the next 2 races as you Hold Your Brakes Academy is wrapping up this season, and then hopefully we'll be back next season with them. And if not, we'll hold their spot temporarily until we get told elsewise.
We got a good one that we're looking forward to tonight, because we look forward to it anytime we go there, as we got Michigan tomorrow night for the Core Xfinity Series. And then we had to VIR for our first race at VIR for the week. That's on Wednesday for CSRL. Then this doubleheader with Pit Road Speed Limit Racing is going to be at Nashville Super Speedway, VIR at Kansas Speedway, and then the second part of the doubleheader on Thursday nights is also at VIR Core GT Series. So still plenty racing left, still 4 races left, actually 5 races left in this week for CRN. So if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But for myself and Jimmy and Colton from the CRN broadcast, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.